Son, and Holy Spirit, one true God, forever and ever. Amen. So what do you do if you are going on a great journey? If you're going on a great journey, like say for example, going to India. Maybe if you're going to go to India, you might start packing your suitcases very early. You want to make sure that your visa is up to date, your passports are up to date. You want to make sure, all these, you start doing all these things in preparation very, very early. Hopefully you're not like me and wait till the night before you leave to actually decide to open the suitcase to start packing. That's not a good idea. But most people, and I think most of you fit this category, prepare pretty early with packing and all these other things to do. Going on a great journey is a big deal. For us, starting today, Lent is also a journey. St. John Chrysostom says that Lent is like a ship, a great big ship that is going across the ocean, and it's carrying its cargo. And we are that ship. Our fasting discipline, all these things that we do during Lent, that's us as the ship carrying the cargo. And from time to time, you hit rough seas. The journey isn't always easy. And sometimes you might lose some cargo. You might run your ship aground. You might have an accident, whatever. Things happen. Lent is like that. During this time of Lent, we do a lot of great preparations. And starting today, we begin today with a certain type of preparation. And that preparation is that preparation of forgiveness. Right? We begin today after service, after Gurbana is over, we'll do a shortened Shubkona service. Shubkona means forgiveness. We'll do a short forgiveness service, where we each ask, the priests ask the people for forgiveness, and the people ask the priest for forgiveness, and then we also ask one another for forgiveness. That is part of our preparation. I think I don't know if I mentioned it before here, but in the Jewish tradition, there's a holiday called Yom Kippur. It is the Day of Atonement where you ask God for forgiveness. But before you can actually participate in Yom Kippur, in that Day of Forgiveness, before you can ask God to forgive, you have to actually go and ask everybody else first. And we do the same thing, right? In the Lord's Prayer, do we just ask God to forgive us and that's the end of the prayer? What do we say? Forgive our debts and sins, as we also forgive our debtors. Right? There's that mutual forgiveness, that understanding that we're asking for forgiveness. In the Eastern tradition, there's even something that we say to each other, where we look at the person and say, please forgive me. You might call them by their name or something and say, please forgive me, a sinner. And then the person says, God forgives you, and I forgive you. There's this idea that we ask each other for forgiveness, and once we've asked each other for forgiveness, then God forgives us. That's how we prepare, because we're preparing ourselves spiritually, because Lent is a journey. And if we don't begin properly, we're going to fail before we even begin. Because as the Old Testament reading has said, there's a physical aspect of fasting, and there's also a spiritual aspect of fasting. The physical aspect, we all know those rules. No one here, I don't have to beat you over the head with the rules, we know what they are. There's an I don't want to even say rules, it's an expectation. There's an expectation, an ideal. The church says, has very high expectations of us. And says these are the things that you're supposed to refrain from. We let our bodies suffer during this time so that our spirit grows stronger. And that's exactly what the prophet was saying. It's not simply about food. It's not simply about money. Then it's more than that. It's about charity. It's about our ability to forgive. It's about our ability not to become angry. There's two sides of it. There's a physical and a spiritual side. So we begin today, not with the fasting, because when does the fasting actually start? When does fasting actually start? Tomorrow, right? Thank God, right? Yeah, we have the one day today, we can go feast, do all that, get all that stuff taken care of, eat whatever you want to eat, clean out those fridges right now, eat, go kill a cow, do whatever you have to do. But then starting tomorrow, we physically start to fast. But today, we begin the spiritual fast, where we ask each other for forgiveness. And that's our preparation for this great journey of Lent. And we will revisit during the next few weeks on how this journey is going and the significance of all these different weeks. But it is a journey. And that means this journey has to take us somewhere. We have to go somewhere. We have to reach a destination. We're not just a ship that's going around in circles. We're not a plane that's flying in circles, refusing to land. We are actually going from where we are to this ideal person that the church expects us to be. It is a journey. And I pray that today we begin that journey with forgiveness, with proper preparation. Because before we begin anything physical, we always begin with spiritual preparation. So begin today with spiritual preparation, asking one another for forgiveness, and going forward with that spirit of forgiveness. All praise and thanksgiving to the Blessed Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, now and always, and forever and ever. Amen.